Novus Chat. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, my YouTube channel Novus NY. I am Bill Hagen, and in this channel we featured some amazing musicians working here in New York City. In every single video, every single interview, we try our best to put some tips for you that may wanna move here and wanna start your career as a musician, or if you are just curious like me, like 10 years ago when I moved to New York City. I would love to have that kind of information. So, without further ado, I'm so glad that we have here Stephen Fraser. Yes, he is an amazing musician. We worked together in lots of projects over the years. I believe my first gig with you was in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. But we're not going to talk about me. We're going to talk about him and whatever he has to say about New York City's music market and classical music world. We're going to listen and we're going to learn. So, are you ready, Stephen?
Here we go.
Here we go. So, as you know, I am Brazilian and English is my second language. So, I'd like to start the interview with an expression that we have in Portuguese that calls sell your fish. I don't know if that's the same in English, but sell your fish would mean like you're gonna sell your product, you're gonna sell yourself. So, my basic question, so we can get started in a great vibe, what you do and who you are.
Gosh, okay.
Tell us.
Well, once again, my name is Stephen Fraser, and I am the Director of Music and Organist here at St. Malachy's The Actors Chapel, right here in the heart of the Theater District, Times Square, New York City. It's been a fantastic ride so far. I'm going into my 6th year already, which was a surprise to me because just thinking about it, I mean, we've all kind of gained or lost 2 years with COVID, so it's just, I'm already in my 6th year. And it's been really great. All the before, the during, the way I was able to remain in touch with the choir members and the community virtually. And now we just recently finished our Irish concert, celebration concert, which was really exciting, and we had a great time.
Nice.
And it was just nice to have the community together again and doing something live and in person. So it's a wonderful experience. So here at the Actors Chapel, I'm in charge of choosing the music for the masses. We have 3 regular masses on the weekend. We'll probably bring a 4th one back soon. And I helped the cantors prepare, and I direct the choir once during the week, and then we perform on Sundays at the 11 a.m. Mass. And they're an amazing group of people, and they are all derived from the community here. We have people who just love theater. We have people who work on Broadway. We have people who work off Broadway. We have teachers. We have people who are interested in the visual arts, people who are interested in jazz. So a variety of musical and theatrical interests, and they find commonality and they find a basis here at the Actors Chapel and sing in the choir. And it's an all-volunteer group, and I wouldn't want it any other way. I think it's just really exciting to work with people who just want to be there and experience the love of music, the joy of music, and share the experience of being together. Which is why I really was excited about finding that connection through the past couple years with COVID, and just continuing with online rehearsals and online presentations. We had online cabarets. I saw that a group or two was doing that in the summer, that first 2020, and I thought, well, this could be something we could try to do virtually.
Nice.
When I started here, I saw that the choir was very talented, but there just wasn't really a lot of opportunity to showcase them as performers and as a choir. There was 1 or 2 things at Christmas time, and then maybe 1 or 2 others. But what I instituted when I came here was regular concerts featuring not only the choir, but the amazing solo voices we have in the choir. And so to do cabarets at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, and the one that we do at the beginning of the year has become this Broadway festival, which has been really great. And we have people come and they speak, they perform. So it's just a way to bring the Broadway community together. Broadway Blessing is what we call it. It's been in existence for, I think, almost 20 years, if not more. And it's been at St. Malachy's before. It's been at other places. Different places take turns hosting it. And we've been privileged to have it for the past maybe 4 or 5 years. And we're hoping to continue that again this fall, fingers crossed.
Yes.
That there'll be the right climate to have that again. Most recently, we had Cheetah Rivera come and host and speak, and she was amazing. And we've had other amazing Broadway talent come and perform and speak, and so we have this great tradition of performing, and so to be able to do that during the time of COVID, virtually, and just connecting that way with our audience and our parishioners has been really great. So yes, concerts. I do concerts. I'm also an organist, and so in addition to choosing the music and preparing the cantors, I play the organ. So I play here at Malachi's regularly. I also play 2 or 3 masses regularly at St. Patrick's Cathedral, which has been wonderful. Nice. Since I moved to the city in maybe 2007, I would say shortly thereafter, in some way I've had some association in assisting at St. Patrick's, and it's just been really fantastic to have that experience playing there in that wonderful space and working with those wonderful musicians. So in addition to that, my main position is here at the Actors Chapel.
Awesome.
And I also compose music.
Ooh.
And I've had to have a little break from that because I'm just finishing up my doctoral degree at Manhattan School of Music.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So he does everything. You notice that, right? He composes, he plays the organ, he plays the piano because I've seen it. He conducts the choir of Broadway Blessing, right?
Broadway Blessing.
I love that name. That name is everything. Yeah, and it's true because we are I can see across here. We have a Broadway theater. Do you know the theater, the name of this theater right across the street?
Yes, the Book of Mormon that's playing there right now.
Yeah. See, we are in the heart of New York City, folks.
Chicago next door, Book of Mormon across the street.
Oh my goodness, amazing. So, and this guy does everything, and he's great on what he does. So, but based on everything that you told me, I have a question. You said that you came to New York City in 2007.
Yes.
Why?
Well, I had just finished what I considered my academic studies. I attended University of Toronto, Eastman School of Music for a master's, Yale University Sacred School of Music for a second master's degree, and then I was in France for a year studying improvisation and composition.
Wow.
And so I was great. I felt like, this has been really wonderful in terms of academic foundation. It's time to make some money. It's time to put some of my things that I've learned to use. And so there were different cities and locations I was considering. Toronto being one. As a Canadian, I thought, looking close to home could be interesting, could be fun.
Yeah.
Montreal's a fantastic center. Washington D.C. in this country, and New York, and I thought, well, I'll just take, and I did go to auditions in several of these places. I did go to one, obviously in New York City, and it was a really good match, and not only that, residents or accommodations came with the job, so that was a big one. So there was, in terms of my moving to New York City, there was really less to worry about, because I already had a place I was moving into. I had a little bit of a stipend. This was to Church of the Holy Trinity in the Upper East Side on 88th Street.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
I began there as assistant organist, assistant director of music.
Right in 2000.
Yeah, so right in 2007. So right out of school, having a position in New York City.
Wow.
Just as an assistant capacity as organist.
So when you were job searching, right after you finished Yale, but according to what I'm understanding, you finished the Yale and you were job searching, seeing your options. What the reason that you came to New York, it was just job based? If you found another job someplace else, would you go there, or you preferred New York City for any other reason?
I think I saw that a lot of my friends and colleagues were choosing New York City, just having graduated from and attended the places that I also attended. I thought, well, this is a route or a way to explore. There wasn't anything specific that said I must go to New York City. Some people have the mission or the vision of going to New York City to make it in New York City. I feel like I would have been happy in other places, with the right programming, the right kinds of people to work with. I really. I've been fortunate that I've been able to work and live in different places, different countries, so I could find work and be happy in a lot of different places, I think.
Awesome.
Whether it be rural or urban, I'm very flexible that way. I try to make the most out of wherever I am.
That's easy. That's
yeah,
easy.
yeah.
Yeah, that's like a really good mindset for your profession because you're ready to go wherever the opportunity calls you. You go there. This is amazing, and this is really important, especially here in New York City, because guess what, folks? You are competing with the whole world because everybody wants to be here. But let me ask you something more about New York City because this interview is like I'm trying to help you guys, like whoever is watching this, to learn a little bit about like what people do in New York City when it comes to classical music. And Steven has been great because he told us many things about education, about going after opportunities. Another question that I have, what would you say that you wish you knew before moving to New York City that you didn't know when you came here, when you first came here for work?
Yeah, I wish I had known that New York is really limitless in terms of opportunities. I mean, I was young and I just was very focused on, I'm an organist, this is my brand, this is what I do, playing in a church, just really not thinking outside the box, but, coming to New York City, you really can reinvent yourself and continue adding on to your skill set and what you can do and what you can accomplish. I mean, for me, even just in the past 2 years, I've always been a musician and interested in the arts and this kind of thing. But when our churches shut down and we needed our mass to get to the community, which were, who were closed in at home, I approached our pastor, Father John Fraser, who also has the same last name as me. As it turns out, not to be...
Not family?
Not family.
Okay.
We're just two Frasers that happen to be working in the same place. But I suggested to him that we really should try to do some online presence to get out the message to people and bring the mass to people at home. And so I spearheaded that, and I would record people separately and using the skills I knew from iMovie and other kind of movie things, editing, film editing things, software, that I was able to just put something together, and it came to be a pretty good product. And over the course of a year and a half, I've learned these skills to put something together that is presentable and good to watch, and it really does connect with people. I hear that we actually had quite a bit of contributions come in through our online movies, and as Father Fraser says that, which is amazing, and I'm really humbled that he had shared this information with me, is that because of the online presence, we were able to keep things going here. I wouldn't say comfortably, but just keep things going. Yes. In a really challenging time for every business, for every congregation. So I was really happy I was able to help with that together. And thank you to everybody who participated in those videos, all our cantors who came in, instrumentalists, and also that we were able to give them a contribution to be a part of the making of these, to keep these workers, these musicians who are unemployed with the theaters closed down. A lot of our instrumentalists work in the pits and Broadway theaters. They're singers, in the shows. So to able to have them come and we can give them something to do, to do what they are so good at and so much that we appreciate was really worthwhile and rewarding.
You have those videos are available online, right?
They are. Yeah, they are. They are. In fact, we've continued, as many businesses that have found other ways to reach people, during the pandemic. Similarly, we've kept our online mass offerings, and we still get 200 or so every weekend watching online. It's not live, but we are putting something together just to reach people at home who aren't quite comfortable yet, sort of being in groups and are just choosing to maybe be at home that weekend. But it's been great. So yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna put the link on the description of the video, okay? So you can check out the materials that he's talking to us about it. So, so another question, like you said that in New York City you had the opportunity to reinvent yourself. As an artist, what would you say that changed you as an artist by living and working in New York City? Like for instance, if you compare yourself prior to 2007 to 2022, a lot of time, right? So what has changed in terms of your career because you are based in New York City?
Yeah, I mean, being based in New York City is huge. You have amazing opportunities to to go and see concerts at incredible venues. You have museums readily available. You can go and visit all kinds of artistic experiences to absorb, to witness. And so all of that will feed into your creativity. And through doing so, you realize that being an artist in New York City is not just one thing. It's so many different things. And it can take on many different forms. Musician is just one part of it. And also the kinds of music you're interested in. I mean, coming to New York City, I was the classical nerd, church nerd, and I probably still am that. And I, some people will attest I very much still am that, and that's great. Thumbs up. But having my two sons, that's something people maybe people don't know about me, but I do have two kids.
Nice.
And both are very much interested in Broadway and musical theater.
How old are
And
they?
Connor is 23, and Alex is 11.
Nice.
So a bit of a range between the two boys. But it's really fun because both love acting, and they both have agents too, by the way.
Nice.
And they're both into musical theater. And so through them, I've learned like a large body of the musical theater repertoire. Sort of having to accompany them, rehearse with them, get them ready for this production shows. And they've had great success, actually, both of them.
That's nice.
Yeah, so it's been a real journey. So my idea of what good music is, or it keeps expanding. Like, I think every music has value, and as long as you get to the essence of music done well and having the right group of people performing the right kinds of music, I think it can reach everybody.
Yes.
And it's all valuable.
So what I'm learning from you is that it's something that I personally agree. Like, every music has value. So that's something so important because, I consider myself a classical trained musician because I'm involved in choirs and everything, and I believe you as well because you studied at Yale, you have all the classical training, but you can recognize that other styles of music that you may like in the past were not as comfortable as like church music. Like now you are because you just opened yourself to other forms of music and everything, and you can see value on those songs. Like, for instance, I know that many people here in New York City, like they work in the classical music industry, but sometimes they don't have a clue what's going on in terms of Broadway and musical theater, which is not your case because you get like first-hand experience through your sons and through your practice.
Through working here at the Actors Chapel, I mean,
Yes.
It's been a real crash course in it because it's just been all at once. It's been, I remember going out to some dinners earlier on, and just the way people are name dropping this show, this person, that person. I thought I have so much to learn because I didn't know who they were talking about. Like, I didn't know the history, but it's almost actually like a full circle because I started with pop organ.
Really nice.
So what I mean by that is, I did pop music, I did contemporary music, I learned Broadway music, and that was my first love for music, was this kind of music. And then earlier on I was exposed to classical, to Bach specifically, and I thought, oh, this is something else that I really need to look into, and so I just diverged onto that path. So coming here, it's like revisiting some of the things I loved as a child, like the shows, Phantom of the Opera, Miss Saigon, Les Miserables. These were all shows that I loved, and Toronto has a really great Broadway scene, the musical theater scene. So it's pretty developed. And so I remember going to those shows in Toronto as a boy. But I mean, there's nothing quite like living here and working here with the theaters around you and the people on the streets. Again, they were kind of missing for a while, but the energy here is unlike any other place. And I think, speaking about what we said earlier about different kinds of music, if you're here and you're open to experience, open to meeting people, meeting them, they will bring the music to you and they will show you what is so amazing about it.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. I can stay here for an hour and a half during this interview because I'm learning so much stuff. So another question that I have for you, Stephen. We are talking about this kind of being flexible and trying to open your mind when you are here in New York City and try to consider other career moves that maybe are not that available in other cities, but because New York City is like this melting pot of everything,
Right.
and musical theater together with classical music. What would you say that some musician that wants to make it here? When I say make it here, not becoming a millionaire, nothing like this, but living and working in New York City with music. What would you say that takes from the person? Like, what does it take to be successful here, in your opinion?
In my opinion, you need to be open to anything and everything, and you need to be having the ability to readapt and to see what's available and transforming. I mean, I don't consider myself somebody who tries to build a network as much as I see some other friends and things doing, but I do think having connections and contacts in New York City is important. People you can call, or people who can say, oh, you should come to this event, or I have tickets to this, or come to this, or come to this. So that is important too, to have that somewhat of a network or connections, and I did through school and through different people I've worked with in the past that continued to work and then live in New York City. So the whole East Coast it's just been wonderful living in different places, Connecticut and then here, and there are connections all throughout the East Coast, certainly. So
Awesome.
That really.
Awesome. And one thing that I would like to ask, out of curiosity, totally, like when everything finishes, like you get retired, like you're not working anymore, which for musicians is not that much of a case, because we love so much what we do that we see ourselves retiring, just like when I cannot physically play the keyboard, or when I don't have any voice to sing anymore. That will be my retirement. So when you finish your career, like in the future, like do you see yourself living until the end of your days in New York City? Yes or no?
Gosh, I mean, it's entirely possible. I really seek more serenity in my life and just more time to just have some space. I love my family. I'm not saying space from them, but I'm just saying space to think, space to work, space to compose, space to ponder. I sort of jump every time, on Sunday morning when my phone tells me I spent this many hours, on my phone this week or this day.
Oh, do you have an app for that?
Yeah, it averages how many hours you spent on your phone.
Oh.
And it's terrifying because I'll use my phone for everything, like everybody does, for work, for emails, for phone calls when they happen, for like movies. So it adds up so much over the course of the day, and I get that at the end of the week, saying what my average on the phone has been, and it just makes me shudder. So I think emerging from this past 2 years, I'm trying to spend less time on electronics and just foster relationships with people in the community that are positive, that are meaningful, that try to rid my life of negativity. It's really a challenge. People are very outspoken, online and in the city and everywhere, and people have very strong opinions, and that's great. That's where the time we're in, but at the same time, just to have that space to think, to recompose myself, to get to the essence of what's important to me. And I'm discovering more and more that it is the creation of music and composing, and so
Nice.
I'm just really looking forward to finishing up my degree, which I've been really blessed to have the opportunity to go back to school again, having a break of 15 years or so from my 2006 or 2007 at Yale, to going back to finishing off a degree, a doctorate at Manhattan School of Music, just the past couple of years. And just from that, really just delving again, into the community and reinventing myself again and seeing what's out there. I mean, I'm in the center of, Broadway world, and I do have compositional ideas, and, through working with my sons, like I mentioned, I just really delved into the music of Broadway, and so this could be something to explore too. Like, there's no reason why not. But before that, certainly working with the Actors Chapel Choir and doing concerts that feature not only my own works, but maybe other maybe your own works. I would love that.
Oh,
No, that'd be amazing. I know we've talked
Love it.
about this before, but just having an evening of contemporary music and artists come, and it's just been really great, living in the city because people really are doing their own music and doing their own thing. And I think that's just an amazing thing. You don't always get that everywhere, where it's just like people are just so creative here.
I see.
You know.
Creativity. Oh,
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. But I have a sense that you are looking for serenity on your life after that doctor's degree. I'm done. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Let's slow down a little bit. You feel like New York City gives you that space,
I think you have to find that space.
but there is space here in New York City. Like if you wanna
gosh.
live like more like you wanna slow down a little bit, but you wanna stay in the city. Do you think like the city like can accommodate you in that?
I'm sure many people will say, "Oh, I go to this park and I sit on this bench, or I go to the water and I do this." I mean, those would be places to start,
Mm-hmm.
but I really think you have to create your own space, whatever that is. And I think I must still be in the process of doing that. But certainly when I'm here practicing at St. Malachy's, when it's dim and I can just practice and I can improvise, that's just really amazing. So for me, that is a quiet place where I can work and I can think. But I imagine a workspace at home. We're finally into a place where we have a little bit more room, my family and I. So
Nice.
to create a space in there that we can work and I can close the door and it can work.
Oh, that's good.
But my ideal would be to spend my summers once again in Quebec.
Mhm.
We have a family cottage, which is like just a country house, nothing fancy, but just Canada we always call it cottage. Cottage in the Laurentian Mountains, and it's on the site where there's a famous music school there called CAMAC, and it's Canadian
Mhm.
Amateur Musicians, Musiciens Amateurs du Canada.
Oh, do you
And-
speak French?
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been nice. Well, in Canada, you're required to.
Yeah. I
For
was
to a certain,
wondering.
but then I continue taking it as a part of my studies at University of Toronto, doing an undergraduate minor in French,
Mm-hmm.
and then continuing, and then in France I lived there, so it's just been always a part of my life, from a young age. So to go to the cottage there and just to be at CAMAC and take the courses, and at 11 years old I was on the harpsichord playing early music
Uh-huh.
and figured bass, and so just to
Wow.
have these experiences from an early age, just imagine you're on the lake. There's the performance cabin, which is they would have the concerts in the evening, and then all along this beautiful path in the woods they would have little sheds, practice rooms, and named after important, so like Chopin shed and
Oh, sounds amazing.
Bar top
I
shed.
love it.
So for me, this was really what made music something I did into something that I really loved and that I could see myself doing in the future.
If you weren't a musician, like let's pretend just for a moment that you have no talent, you had no connections, what do you see yourself doing as a profession? Like,
Gosh, yeah. I've always said to people that if I wasn't a musician, I probably would be a translator.
translator?
Yeah, I love languages very, very
Really?
much.
Other
Yeah.
than French, you speak any other languages?
I have knowledge of Italian,
Mm-hmm.
German, and some Korean, but don't test me on that.
I
It's really like the Romance languages that
Mhm.
that I have the most interest in, at least right now, and that I could see myself being proficient in at a future date if I just decided that this is what I want to do. I feel like I could easily speak 3 or 4 languages proficiently.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
feel like these people that speak more than one language, they are so clever, so smart. Like I feel like, oh my goodness, how these people can do this? Because I only speak Portuguese, which is my first one, and English, and that's it. I'm not learning anything else. I don't care about Spanish. I don't care. Not that I don't care. Let me rephrase that. I'm not gonna study that anymore because I'm not that young anymore, and I had a really hard time learning the English already. And everybody nowadays, like most of the world, the developed world, if we can say that, like everybody knows something about English, so you can easily communicate with other people. So my last question for this interview, I know that you guys, I could be staying here and talking, but I know that your time is precious, so I'm not gonna take that much of your time. But I do have one more question.
Sure.
that has been so much fun. So if you could like just pretend for a second that you have a platform that you can reach everyone in the world. And you can say you have 1 minute or 2 minutes to say whatever you need to that people. Whatever you want to say. What would you say? What would be your message? It could be about anything. Like what you would like people to know that you have to say to them, or how. Tell me.
Whatever I say, I'm hoping the message will change as I change and I age. I think the message for everybody is different at different points of our life.
At this point right now, what would be your message?
I would say take in the present, love those in your life, respect your family, love your friends, do good at what is meaningful to you, whatever you have that you're working with or working on. Be in touch, be connected, listen. Mm-hmm. Listening is huge. I think everyone's just saying what they're saying but not listening. I think we all need to do more listening to each other. And make your life meaningful.
Wow, make your life meaningful.
Do it. Whatever that means to you. I mean, it's got to be. I know it's not about making history books or making it big. Do what is meaningful to you. That will at the end of your life, however soon that is, we none of us know. Just try to go through every day thinking, okay, this was a great day, and I've done the most I can do.
That's beautiful. Oh my goodness, I couldn't have said it better. Stephen, thank you so much for your time. That was so much fun. Sorry for the lighting that we lost. Like for some reason I lost connection with whatever it is. But what is most important is that you have the content, and we got the chance to talk with Stephen Fraser here from the Theater District in New York City. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm gonna put links for Stephen's work on the description of this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Stephen.
Thank you, and thanks, Bill.
Bye bye.
Bye.
No.